Cats have tons of breeds today. Some are huge and fluffy, some are tiny and delicate, some have folded ears, some have flat faces, some have short legs, some have almost no fur, and some look like they were designed by an ancient alien who really loved attitude. But here's the weird part. Cats didn't become this way because humans domesticated them, the same way we domesticated dogs. The story of cats is actually stranger because cats didn't really get dragged into human life. They kind of invited themselves in. Thousands of years ago, when humans started farming, everything changed. Before farming, many human groups moved around to find food. But once people began growing crops, they started staying in one place. They built settlements. They stored grain. They kept food in large amounts. And that created a huge problem: mice. Lots of mice. To humans, stored grain meant survival. It meant food for winter, food during drought, food when hunting was difficult. But to mice and rats, those storage areas were basically an all-you-can-eat buffet. Tiny animals could sneak in, chew through supplies, contaminate food, and multiply fast. And when your survival depends on stored food, rodents are not just annoying, they are a disaster. Then wildcats appeared. Not because humans called them, not because anyone trained them, not because some ancient farmer saw a wildcat and thought, "That would look great sleeping on my chair." The cats came for food. Wherever humans stored grain, mice followed. And wherever mice gathered, cats had dinner. So wildcats started hanging around human settlements. They were not trying to become pets. They were not asking for permission. They were just hunting. And humans noticed. Cats were catching the animals that were destroying their food. That made cats useful. But this relationship was very different from dogs. Dogs likely became close to humans through cooperation, hunting, protection, and social bonding. Dogs are pack animals, so they were naturally better at working with humans in groups. Cats were different. Cats were independent hunters. They didn't need humans to organize them. They didn't need humans to teach them how to catch mice. They already knew. So at the beginning, this wasn't really a pet and owner relationship. It was more like a silent deal. Cats protected the food. Humans let the cats stay. Cats got prey. Humans got fewer rodents. Nobody had to sign a contract. Nobody had to teach a cat how to be a cat. The relationship worked because both sides benefited. And that might explain why cats still feel so different from many other domesticated animals. A dog often looks at you like, "What are we doing next?" A cat looks at you like, "I already made my decision. You may now adapt." That independent energy is not random. It comes from the way cats entered human life. They were not shaped as workers in the same intense way dogs were. Dogs were molded by humans for many different jobs over thousands of years. Some dogs were bred to pull heavy loads. Some were bred to hunt. Some were bred to guard. Some were bred to herd sheep. Some were bred to run fast. Some were bred to sit in people's laps and look adorable while doing almost nothing. Because dogs had so many jobs, humans pushed their bodies in very different directions. That's why dogs can look unbelievably different from each other. A Chihuahua and a Great Dane barely look like the same species. One can fit in a bag, the other looks like it pays rent. But cats never went through that same level of extreme job-based selection. For a very long time, their main job stayed almost the same. Be small, be fast, be quiet, catch things. That's it. A cat didn't need to pull a sled. It didn't need to herd cattle. It didn't need to rescue people in the snow. It didn't need to guard a castle gate. It just needed to be an efficient little hunter. And cats were already extremely good at that. Their bodies were built for it. Flexible spines, sharp eyes, quick reflexes, soft paws, hidden claws, sensitive whiskers, excellent balance, and a brain wired to notice tiny movements. That's why, even today, so many cats still share the same basic body plan. Whether it's a Persian, a Siamese, a Bengal, a Maine Coon, or a random street cat, you can still recognize the classic cat shape. Flexible, alert, quiet, ready to pounce. That ancient hunting instinct is still there. You can see it when a cat stalks a toy. You can see it when it freezes before jumping. You can see it when its pupils get huge. You can see it when it attacks your foot under the blanket at 2 a.m. like your ankle committed a serious crime. That behavior is not just cute cat behavior. It is the old hunter still running inside the modern pet. But eventually, humans started paying attention to something else. Not just which cats were good hunters, but which cats looked unusual. once cats became part of human life, people began noticing differences between them. Some cats had very long fur, some had short, sleek fur, some had beautiful color patterns, some had strange markings, some were unusually large, some had unique faces, some had folded ears, some had short legs, some had curly coats, some had almost no fur at all. At first, traits like these appeared naturally. That's how variation works. In any animal population, small differences show up, sometimes because of random mutation, sometimes because certain traits help animals survive in a specific environment, sometimes because biology is just messy and creative. A long-haired cat might appear in a colder region, a rare color pattern might show up in one family line, a folded ear, or unusual body shape might appear by chance. Nature doesn't care if a trait looks cute, fancy, or strange to humans. But humans care a lot. And once humans saw traits they liked, they started preserving them. That's where selective breeding comes in. Selective breeding is when humans choose animals with specific traits and breed them together, hoping their offspring will inherit those same traits. So if people liked a cat with long, luxurious fur, they might breed it with another long-haired cat. If they liked a certain face shape, they might choose cats with that face again and again. If they liked a rare color pattern, they might try to keep that pattern going. Over time, those traits become stronger and more consistent. A feature that once appeared by chance can become the signature of an entire breed. That is how many animal breeds are created, not all at once. Not in one generation, but slowly, through repeated human choices. Humans look at nature's little accidents and say, let's make more of that. And with cats, that led to some very distinct breeds. Persian cats became known for their long coats and flat, recognizable faces. Maine Coons became famous for their huge bodies, thick fur, and wild-looking appearance. Siamese cats became recognizable for their slender bodies, blue eyes, and color point patterns. Scottish Folds became known for their folded ears. Munchkins became known for their short legs. Sphinx cats became famous for their nearly hairless bodies and alien-like look. And once humans started creating and recognizing breeds, the process became even more organized. Cat shows, breed registries, and official standards helped define what each breed was supposed to look like. That means a breed was no longer just a group of cats with similar traits. It became an ideal, a standard, a look that breeders tried to preserve. And that is where modern cat breeds really started to multiply, because for most of human history, cats were not carefully separated into dozens of official breeds. There were just cats. Some looked different, some were better adapted to certain places, some had traits people liked. But the huge world of modern cat breeds is actually pretty recent compared to the long history between humans and cats. That's the interesting part. Cats have lived near humans for thousands of years, but many cat breeds people recognize today are much newer. For most of that time, cats were not being intensely designed. They were living near us, hunting pests, having kittens, spreading through farms, towns, ships, cities, and homes. Then much later, humans started turning cat variation into cat identity. We didn't just want useful cats anymore. We wanted beautiful cats, rare cats, elegant cats, strange cats, expensive-looking cats, cats that look like tiny wild animals, cats that look like soft pillows with eyes, cats that look like ancient statues, cats that look like they were built by a wizard with a very specific sense of humor. And this says something interesting about humans too. Humans have a habit of doing this with nature. We see variation, then organize it. We name it, we preserve it, we exaggerate it, we turn it into categories. A strange ear shape becomes a breed feature. A rare coat pattern becomes desirable. A mutation becomes a selling point. One unusual body type becomes something people search for all over the world. In a way, cat breeds are not just about cats. They're about human taste, human curiosity, human obsession with uniqueness, and sometimes human desire to own something that feels special. But there's also a serious side to this. Not every trait humans like is automatically good for the animal. Some extreme features can create health problems. Very flat faces can make breathing harder. Certain body shapes can affect movement. Some mutations that look cute may come with medical risks. So the story of cat breeds is not only a fun story about variety, it is also a reminder that shaping animals for appearance has consequences. When humans turn a trait into a standard, they are not not just changing how an animal looks, they may also affect how that animal lives. That's why responsible breeding matters. A cat should not suffer just because humans think a certain look is cute. Still, the reason cats have so many breeds today is pretty clear. Cats entered human life as hunters. They stayed because the relationship worked. For thousands of years, they helped control pests while keeping much of their wild independence. Then humans began noticing the unusual ones, the fluffy ones, the giant ones, the short-legged ones, the folded ear ones, the hairless ones, the cats with striking eyes, rare colors, and strange faces. And once we liked those differences, we started preserving them, then naming them, then standardizing them, then turning them into breeds. So why do cats have so many breeds now? Because humans saw tiny oddities and turned them into identities. One ear shape could become a signature. One coat pattern could become a category. One mutation could become a breed people recognize instantly. But the funniest part is that no matter how fancy cats become, they still feel ancient. A Persian may look like it belongs on a velvet throne. A Maine Coon may look like a tiny forest lion. A Sphinx may look like it knows secrets from another galaxy. A Scottish Fold may look like it was designed specifically to break the internet. But deep inside, they all still carry the same old legacy. The little hunter, the silent stalker, the animal that once walked into human settlements without being invited and made itself useful. That's why cats still feel mysterious. Dogs often feel like they became part of the human world. Cats feel like they entered the human world, but never fully surrendered to it. They live in our homes. They sleep on our beds. They knock things off our tables. They demand food from bowls we purchased with our own money. But somehow, they still act like visitors from a separate kingdom. And maybe that's because, in a way, they are. The breed may be shaped by humans. The fur, the ears, the face, the size, the color, the official name, and the fancy category may be human-made. But the mysterious energy, that still belongs to the cat.